Good morning. It's Wednesday. It is. It's Wednesday, November 30th, 2022. My name is Terry Morgan. We are here to practice. We are. Practice. Practice what? We have a couple of things that we're going to work on this morning. One is feet. And you see me here with my socks on. All right, so we're gonna talk about feet today. We're also going to talk about a concept that is really fundamental to how we move, and that is the concept of way. The effortlessness. So, nothing, empty, not, it's a negative. Way, effort, substance, thing, effort. It really is effort. That sense of, I'm going to do something. Yeah, we don't do that. We just do it. And that effort to be effortless in our movement is part of what we want to develop. Yeah, it is. Why? Back down to the floor because we're stretching. We're doing stretches today. Alright, and I did this yesterday with my shoes on. I'm going to do this today without the shoes on so you can see my feet. Not that I want you to see my feet, but when we talk about what we're doing with the feet, what we're doing with the hands, I can much more easily show you what I'm doing with my hands, because my hands are normally visible, right? Here they are. Yeah, I get my shoe. Normally my feet are not visible, they're in my shoes. All right? So this idea, and there's a correlation here to some of what we see in other martial arts, where practice is normally indoors, big thing, on a clean, well-kept floor. The same for dance. We may have performance that is outdoors, but it's likely going to be on a stage, not on the dirt. Alright? And certainly not on gravel. Or concrete. Well, concrete maybe. Concrete is possible. Nobody wants to jump on concrete. You will hurt your legs over time if you don't do it. Dance floor, studio floor, where the floor you have mats because you're going to fall down or somebody's going to help you to fall down, right? Those kinds of places lend themselves to special shoes, dance shoes, basic dance slippers, not point shoes, right? Tap requires a different floor and a different type of a shoe. You got to have taps on your shoes if you're going to tap dance, pretty much. You have to have something that's going to help the sound resonate. I'm talking feet things here. All right, there's a lot of feet things that we talk about. So, what am I doing with my feet? I'm doing lots of things with my feet. They're not simply there. Oh. Alright, so yesterday I talked about this stretch. Now, I got my knee, I have not stretched the back of my legs, so I'm not doing this as fully as I might just yet. as I get more stretched out, I can do more. And that's the point of doing stretches. Okay, so yesterday I talked about that when you pull on your feet, you're either coming straight over the top so that your foot is in good alignment. Now I have bad toes, so your foot is in good alignment with your knee, right? Nice alignment through the metatarsal arch. If you got crooked toes, well, push them over. Okay, right through here, this spot right here. This is the Yongchuan, the bubbling well. This is the space between the first toe and the second toe in the metatarsal arch. So we're here for the Yongchuan, just below the metatarsal arch, and this space between, right here, between the big toe and the second toe, that's what you want to align with your knee, that space. So that as you pull back on the toes, your foot is in good alignment. This, more footwork, all right? Leg extended. This one we're not working on right now. We're just working on feet. Okay? So, grab your toes. And the same thing here. This straight forward and back. Don't push it to the side. Don't push it over to this side. Don't pull this way. If you pull this way on your foot, you see what I'm doing to my ankle? Don't do that. Don't. If you're going to pull your foot in, pull through here. Just below the ankle. So here's my ankle. I want just below my ankle to pull in so that this part of my foot doesn't get twisted. That repeated twisting, not good. Okay, so I'm going to use my hand for a second. Each finger is separate all the way back to here. Each toe is separate all the way back to the main arch of the foot. We want to open the foot. Just the same as we open the hand. Okay? So, tuck your knee up under your shoulder. This is old dancer stuff, right? But here we are. So, old dancer stuff. Tuck your knee up under your shoulder. Bring your foot up as close as you can get it. You should be able to get pretty close. This is not a stressful position. It's not. Okay? And you're going to massage your toes. Just take the toe, bind all of it all the way back into the arch, and open it up so that there's space in between. Just spread the toes out. This is the same as what we would do with an infant. We're going to massage the foot a little bit, get everything working good. Same as what we would do for pretty much any kind of dance. I mean, seriously, any kind of dance. You're going to work on your feet because your feet are what carries the movement and what drives the strength through the movement. I talk about this bubbling well right here. Both feet, that is, let's do the other one over here. Okay? A little massage. Alright, this, and I will tell you that what I'm doing right now is something that is, well, not only common, but every day. and we did this every day in dance class. We'd show up for class. Be a little bit. Everybody had to come a little bit early so you can warm up, right? You come a little bit early, and you sit on the floor, and you stretch, and you warm up, and then you get up and you do things. How much you get up and do depended on what we were doing that day in class, right? So if, let's say for example, and again back to the spread the toes over here, all right, and the position of the leg, the position of the foot does make a difference. But to finish my sentence, the idea that I would every morning before I teach spend 15-20 minutes on stretches on video, probably not. In an in-person class, what I would do is observe what my students, what the people in the class are doing, what they're able to do, and give some options for what we could do for those corrections. And a lot of times that depends, again, on what level class I'm teaching. Okay, so for a beginner level class, there are some refinements that are not going to happen. They're not going to happen. Beginner, not going to happen. All right, what I'm doing with my foot right now is not a beginner level thing. It's not. I'm paying attention to my anatomy and having a conversation at the same time. All right, so bend the knees, reach out over the legs, drop the elbows. Don't do anything else. Just drop your elbows. It will pull your body down. It will. Bend the knees. Hands over the toes. Not to side, not to the center. Straight. Drop your elbows. Pull away. I didn't try to stretch. I was in a position that I could. And what I did was to use that extension. So I know that I can do this. I know I can reach out. How far can I go? Right? Depends on if my legs are bent, I'm going to come closer to my knees. My legs are straight, it's going to take me a minute. I knew what I could do. And all I did was make my elbows a little bit heavier. Drop it. That was it. Everything else came with. That is the way in our movement. It's enough. We're well placed. The effort is enough. It's not too much, not too little. It's just enough to initiate something else. Reach out, bend the knees. Shoulders down. And drop the elbows again. Drop the elbows. Yeah, if I'm going to look at the camera, I got to keep my head up. I don't want to do that. So, head straight to your back. So, that means you're looking down about a 45 angle in my place here. And drop the elbows. Alright. I'm going to turn around to this on the other side so you can see it. This, let it go. Wait. Effort but no effort. Not trying but rather allowing. Reach out, bend the knees, just a little bit. Drop the elbows. And again, straighten the elbows. Notice that when you straighten the elbows, your body straightens up too. Drop the elbows. One more time. Reach out. Okay, and relax. As we stretch out over the legs, this idea of, and well, I'm going to do this going this way in a second. This idea of keeping the body in good alignment, the same as we want to keep the feet in good alignment, the same as we want all of our movements to be well coordinated and well placed and well aligned, so that as we're moving, we are in harmony with the natural movement of the body. This is physiology. Here's what this muscle is, here's what this muscle is, here's what this has to do, here's what that has to do. All of that knowledge and understanding of how our body actually functions is part of our practice. If you don't know, how can you do it? Now, I'm gonna use an example that really kind of brings home my point. In singing, there are people who enjoy singing who cannot read music. Sheet music, and no, it's not happening. They do not read music, but they can sing. They've learned by listening, they've learned by trying, they've learned by paying attention, that ear for music, right? Written form of music, it's not, they can't read it. They're missing something, in my estimation, that person is missing. Even knowing a little bit how to read the music would improve the understanding of what they're doing. It would. There's centuries, seriously, centuries of material on different types of music, different ways of playing music, different musicians. Well, that's not that's not music itself. Okay, so just in written form, the music itself, the way that it's written, tells you how to play it. It's right there, if you can read it. Centuries of human effort to develop our voice through music. That person can't read any of it. And they may love music, they love singing, it's a joy for them. But they can't read any of the music. I understand that not everybody has the opportunity to learn how to read music. But again, my estimation, that inability, and it's not a permanent, you can't ever learn, it's just hasn't done it yet. Hasn't learned this. Without learning it's, to me, it's not complete. Now, yes, I do read music, I sing a little bit, mostly for myself, because I'm like, no. But I am playing. I do play a little bit. I used to play a lot more. And so that understanding, whenever I hear something, and I go back years in being able to read music. I grew up in a household where I learned how to read music. So, yeah, all right, here's what this is, here's what that is, this is what's on this, here's what's written. Oh, that's fun. That's C. I'm going to play that. Right? You can look at it, you can know. The skills that we develop in the martial arts, the skills that we develop in dance, have the same long history. For dance, a good part of what we have in the I'm looking for the word here. The body of knowledge that we have for dance. A lot of that comes from France and from Russia, because those were the Russian school and the French schools were the dominant schools of dance in their day. The same as with Tai Chi, comes from China. That's it got started. That's this whole concept of Wu Wei. It comes from the Taoist teachings. It's not made up. It's centuries old, and it's this idea of, again, effortless action. And for me, this idea of complete inaction, Wu Wei, is antithetical to the philosophy behind it. Right? So, Ba Song means to relax. Ba Jing means to send out the energy. Ba Song, relax. Be loose. Be able to respond. Yeah, I did that. Right? That sense of looseness isn't, all right, I'm relaxed now. Yeah, okay, I relax. All right, okay. No. It's not, complete, right? I'm going to do one more stretch over here. Turn this one. And then we're going to do some other stretches. All right, so this leg is about 45. Bring it as close behind you as you can. You may be over here. That's okay. If you can bring it closer, where you can grab the ankle, not the foot. Pull it in more. And push with your other hand so that you're straight. And this is to open the hip. Right? So you want the hip, right here, to stay on the floor, and the leg to open outward just a little bit. Right? A little bit, yeah. We're not doing anything other than sitting in this position and allowing the stretch to happen. Okay? The more that I pull in, the more of a stretch I get. Right? So if I want a little bit more, I'm pulling a little bit more, and then I can push a little bit more, and I can get a little bit more of a stretch. I don't want to bounce. I don't want a hard, I've got to do this kind of a thing. I want to allow it to happen. Other side. That is part of this idea behind Wei. We can also look at it with the concept of inertia. Okay? And in a lot of cases, when we talk about or we think about inertia, we think about not being able to move. That's not what inertia really means. It's that whatever is going on continues. So if I have no movement, I'm not going to generate any movement. I'm going to stay right where I am. Not going anywhere, right? If I decide that I'm going to move, then I have to generate that movement. And overcome the inertia to start the movement. Once I start the movement, if I've got enough behind whatever it is I'm doing, if I've got enough muscle, enough strength, enough effort, enough kinetic energy to start the movement and allow it to, if I land, then I get out of the way and I allow it to continue, I get up. It's not, and it's less effort than would be required if I think about, I have to get up now, right? That difference, the way we think about the movement, the way we approach the movement, the way that we actually do movement, the way that we move, with the idea that we develop the skill, we develop the strength, and then we let it go. Wei. We're going to do an exercise now. A couple of them, actually. This is the basic stretch, and I'm going to show this because we're doing this all the time here. This is a basic stretch that I learned from Huang Wei Lun when I very first started studying Yang style Tai Chi. So we've been on the floor just now talking about things that I learned from dance. Now we're going to do some stretches that I learned when I started studying Tai Chi. So the first thing that we want to do, and again, we do this all the time, so now we're going to pay attention, is plant the feet. The Yongchuan, the bubbling well, right about here. We want that to stick to the floor. Like you had a piece of chewing gum in that spot, and it was stuck to your foot, and you stuck it on the floor, and when you pick up your foot, it's stuck there. It doesn't want to come up. The other thing that we're going to do is shift the weight so that it's slightly, not all the way, slightly back, so that the heel rests fully on the ground. Okay. As you do that, right in here, pull up. Pull here to pull this. Yeah, it does. Those connections, that's what I was talking about, your physiology. If I'm going to do this movement, where do I initiate that movement so that it's the least effort possible and the most effective use not only of my body but of the movement itself? How to move. So, it's not just what we do. It's how we do it. Alright. So, feet are now well placed. Heel is set. Yongchuan is set. Toes are nice and open. Grip the floor just a little bit, because I got socks on now. I would grip my shoe just a little bit, right? Knees are bent just slightly, just enough that you can feel the extension through the leg. You can feel the connection and the extension through the leg. If your knee is locked, you will only feel it up to your knee. You want to feel it all the way up through the leg, up into the hip. And then pull up through the back, crown of the head, so that the head is nicely placed over the neck spine, not sticking out this way, and not too far back here, and not over here, not looking up, nicely placed, even and level. Shoulders are down, and you should feel a pull down from underneath the shoulder blade through the neck spine as you extend the neck spine up. That suspension is very comfortable. We want that. Wiggle the finger, open the arms. I didn't do arms, I was doing arms before. I had to open the arms. So shoulders, open the shoulders, right? Just enough so that it's moving. Open the hand, close the hand, wiggle the fingers, wiggle the toes. Hands circle to the front. Back around to both sides. Up along center line, bend the knees. Pull up through the center as you reach out. This is the same as what we're doing when we go over to try and stretch to the toes. This is just a different position for the stretch. And we have to use different body parts because we're not sitting, right? One more time. Reach out. Roll up. Elbows drop down. Wrists, fingertips, hands return to your sides. As we do this, I'm going to talk just a little bit more, and then we're going to do a couple other things here. I've got 3 more things I'm going to do this morning, so I need to move things along here. All right, so right here, find your abs. Find the hip. Here's your hip bone. Find your hip bone. Put the heel of your hand on your hip bone, and then put your hands to the front. Okay. Push in, however far you can push, right? So I've been heavier, so my hands would have been, over here. Find your hip bone. This is how you're going to find where your muscle is. These muscles are. You find your hip bone. Put your hands here. Okay? These fingers right here. Pull. Right? Pull across and in. Hip bone, put your hands in. Push in with your fingers, not your thumb, just your fingers. Push in with your fingers and pull across. Those muscles, muscles in there, yeah. One of these days I'm going to learn and I'm going to go memorize all the Latin names. I can point to them and I can show you what it is and I can tell you where the layers are. I just never did want to get so pretentious that I could spout off the Latin names with just, I probably should one of these days. All right, I got pictures. Pictures are good. All right, so from here, this pull in and pull across. Do that as you go over. Oh, yes. Make sure to keep the hip open. Okay, so that turn happens in the hip. Or your hip can do this. It really can. Okay, and this opening over here, We actually have that. We're going to use it in a minute. This is what dancers use. This is turnout. Okay? So, my foot's straight, and my leg will only go up so far. If I turn out, the position of the joint in my hip changes. The position of my leg in my hip joint changes. Okay? I should be that technical at least. Alright? So, my leg will go a little further. Actually, it used to go up. I can take it up to about here, but not from the standing position. But that's about it. That's more. Alright, now, if I practice that, which I used to, my leg would stay up. I used to be able to do that. I'd take the leg up and leave it there. Alright? It's one of the things that I'm kind of trying to work on a little bit with some of the stretches. I'm probably not going to go all the way back there. But that is something I will guarantee you can walk into any dance school, any gymnastics school that you would want to walk into, and not only I'm not going to say most, I'm going to say all of the senior students and all of the teachers will be able to take their leg up to at least 45 and leave it there. That's what they do. Okay? It's easier once you get it past that, not 45, 90, excuse me. That's 90. This is easier. This is harder. This is, yeah. Alright? So, holding the leg at 90 is harder than holding it at 120. It is. Yes, I know this. Part of what we have to be able to do in order to even think about this is have the flexibility in the hip and understand the mechanics that we need to take the leg to that level. What do I have to do? Now, that was from ballet, right? If I do a straight front kick, right? Straight front kick. My foot hits 90. That's what I wanted. That's what I'm going to hit 90. I was wanting a straight front kick. I want 45. Okay. Shin kind of was just below the knee was the target. Most of the time in my tradition, the things that I've learned, we don't go up here with foot. This is where my hand works. Hands up here, feet down here, right? So if I've got something going on with my hands up here, I can still have something going on at least one of my feet. Maybe two, depends if I'm airborne. Airborne is not so great. I really want to be grounded. But yeah, I can do, multitudes of things on one leg if I needed to. We do some of that in our shingy practice, right? Back here. Right? Monkey. 猴子. That flexibility, that I decided this is what I'm going to do, this is what I did. That skill is why we practice. That's what we're learning here. Alright, so this, I can move as I choose. I want to develop that connection with the breath, with the movement. And I'm back to legs, as I'm going to do a little bit more on legs in a minute. That ability to, all right, this is going to 45, this is going to 90, this is going over here, that's going over there. Where am I going to put my foot? Where have I decided it's going to go? And what does it take to get there? How much effort? I need to make a little bit of effort to do this because I'm going to go for a bat up here someplace. Right? Just a little bit. I need a little momentum to get up there. What do I need to do that? All right. There are, and I guarantee you, I will guarantee you, walk into any dance school that you want in anywhere, and any of the advanced students in that class will be able to stand there and take their foot straight up and bring it back down. I can guarantee you. For me to take force to do that is one of the things that I would look at for martial arts practice versus dance practice. The skill and muscle control that both require is not something we should leave out. Again, did I need to get a little bit more to get that up there? Yep, sure did. Okay. So, did I have the flexibility to do it? Yeah. Was I stretched and loose enough to do it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, I made sure of that, right? That was part of the point of me being on the floor this morning, was just to be able to do that. I'm going to do a couple more things here, but this point about all of the work that we do, all of the things that we do in practice that build up so that we can do one movement, right? Just one. I didn't start being able to do this. I didn't. I can pick up my foot and I can extend my heel. Okay. Oh, I'm going to kick with that. All right, there it is. Nice. All right, I can do another one. 90. I just did the right leg. I'm doing left leg now. Right? So, which one? I want 90. Okay. I want 45. All right. And again, this idea that in my training, for the martial arts, the range of movement that we want is the full extent that we possibly can have. When we think about an application, when we think about doing something, for the most part, we want to pay attention to this quadrant. So this hand over here, and this hand over here, and this foot over here. This area is controlled through the legs. This area up here is controlled through the arms. I don't want to overextend my leg. I would not in anything other than, let me show you I can do this. Would I take my foot to where I need to check my hip here. Yeah, just making sure. All right. Left leg. I did a warm up. I'm going to make sure I can do this. Can I do this? In no condition whatsoever, under no circumstance, would I try to do that to defend myself. I wouldn't. It puts me in a bad position. It's offering my opponent my foot. Here, would you like to have my leg? You can have my whole leg and my foot to go with it. It's very hard to pull back from that high kick. Now, there are systems that use high kicks and jumps, Taekwondo being one of them, Tang Soo Do, the traditional art, one of the traditional arts behind Taekwondo, Tang Soo Do, and Hapkido both use jumps and kicks. They up there. This skill is also one of the things that people who practice Ying Chuan, Eagle Claw. There's an entire system of martial arts based on Eagle Claw, and it's a highly effective system. The skill to jump, the skill to use the legs in the air is developed. It's part of what you do. My tradition, what I learned from Tai Chi, initially from Hong Wei Lun, from Johnny Guangming Li, from Liu Zhang, we don't do that. Here's the box. Divvy it up. That's where your controls are. So I don't want to reach down here with my hand if my foot can do the work. I don't want to do that anyway, right? I put myself in a bad position. All right. Now, I've done a couple of kicks. I'm going to slow it down. Basic training. Everybody. Front kick. Stand straight. You may have hands here. Your choice. For my practice, I'm probably going to be here for that front kick. All right? Right foot back, left foot front. Right hand, we're not going to punch anything. We're just doing a kick. All right? Weights on the right. The left comes up, and it goes out. And it comes in, and it goes down. And do it again. Pick it up, push it out, bring it in, put it down. Pick it up, push it out. Yeah, the balance. All right, balance on the other leg, right? Pick it up, heel, bring it in, put it down. Relax. A lot of weight on that back leg. We're going to do the other side. Pay attention to the heel, pay attention to the toes. Bring the foot up and out. Bring it in, put it down. Bring it up, heel, toes, and down. Bring it up, heel, toes, bring it in, put it down. Yeah, that's all right. Keep it up. Bring it up, out, bring it in, put it down. All right, relax for a second. I'm going to speed it up. This simple movement, and again, we want more of a circle than a straight line. This is my training, all right? So it's not up, out, in, down. It's up and around and in and down. So there's a little bit, just a little bit, that's not excessive, a little bit of this idea behind that you're moving in a circle so that as you complete one part, you return and complete the next part. And you're ready to start again. That sense of continuity is how we develop speed in repetition. I'm going to start with the right foot front, left foot back. What we just did, and just one time, pay attention to your left foot, bend the knee a little bit more. Okay, as you bring it up, bring it out, bring it in, put it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3. Keep going. We're on 45. All right, stop. Other side. Nice and easy. Bring it up. Heel. Bring it in. Put it down. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. Keep going. All right, stop. A little faster. Your legs should feel it too. Your legs should feel it. That is a foundation set. If you were in a beginner level class, this set would be something that you would do every time you come to class. It sets up your foundation. It sets up your balance. And notice there was a couple of places where, yeah, I was a little bit off. I haven't practiced doing this particular repetition for a little while. So, yeah. All right. And not off. All right. That wasn't off either. And neither was that. Oh my gosh, she lost her balance. Yeah, it happens. Okay, it happens. Everybody loses their balance from time to time. And if we only focus on, and then I've talked about this frequently, if we only focus on the mistakes, we don't ever get the good part. It's like, oh, well, that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong, and that's wrong. No! That was pretty good. It was. So was that. Alright? Now, I haven't warmed up my shoulder, so I'm not doing a punch. Alright? And that's something, again, as we've been going through this morning, as I've done different things, we're going to do one more thing. As I've done different things, I've warmed up to do them. None of these things are something that I would do without a warm-up. Okay? Horse stance. Alright? How did I get there? Alright, let me do this here. Alright, so, horse stance. How do we find where medium, let's say, horse stance position is going to be? Feet together, and you're going to lean back on your heels. Open your toes as far as you can. Twist the heels to open. Open the toes again, and twist the heels to set. Your toes should be slightly, not 45, but just slightly to the outside. Your knees go over the toes, don't drop them down here, and don't push it out to the outside. Straight over your toes, sit. Like you had a chair there, just like you had a chair there. The stronger the back of your legs, the easier it is to sit. When you talk about sitting in a horse stance, that's exactly what we're doing. All right? If you were riding a horse, this is sort of, not exactly. If I used to, long time ago. Okay? This is not the position I'm going to be in on a horse. Okay? I want to be closer in, and I want to have more of my weight on my legs, so that as the horse is moving, I'm moving with the horse, and my legs are moving with the horse, not bouncing on top of the horse, because that's not fun. You got to ride. It's not, riding and bouncing are not the same thing. Okay, so notice also that as I'm moving here, as I'm talking, I'm turning, I'm doing some things. Again, this whole idea of what am I doing in a warm-up, what am I doing to prepare, what am I able to do, what can I do, what's next, is part of what I'm doing right now. if I were walking into an advanced class and I got out on the floor and we're getting ready to have class, I'd probably be talking to somebody sitting in a horse stance, talking to me. We might be doing a little push hands thing, we might be doing something, but this is part of our warm up. This up and down, yep. I haven't come all the way up yet, have I? I didn't. Maybe I should. No, let's stay here for a little longer. Be alright. Yeah, alright. There we go. Relax. Again, this idea, we're doing something. We're not really trying to do it. Right? I was working in that horse stance. I was working. My legs were working. They were. But I wasn't trying. I wasn't just talking. Just easy, relaxed, natural. No effort. Way. That ability comes from practice. I know, you hear, as I say it all the time, it comes from practice. We don't get it without practice. It's the only way. Alright, so for next week, I'm going to do a little bit work with cloud hands. And that builds on what I was just talking about here. So from Tai Chi cloud hands, this is from Yang style. This is from Wudang style. Okay? A little bit different. Both have very similar characteristics. Both have the same applications. Pang, Jian. And both have the same general dynamic in their movement. Yang style tends to come across. Wudang style tends to be a little bit more oval. So Yang style, big circle here. Wudang style is more here. That difference is a difference in the quality of movement. It's a difference in the dynamic of the movement. It's a difference in how we actually do the movement. And I just to reinforce what I've been saying all morning, how we actually do the movement isn't pick your arm up and go this way. It's not. Start with the heel, pull up through the Yongchuan, open the knee, pull up through the hip, pull up through the right shoulder, drop the back, raise the arm, turn the waist. Oh, it's not the same. What you saw was the same. What I did was not. We're going to talk about more about that next week. Tomorrow and Friday, Wudang Qigong. I'll be here with the foundation sets on Thursday, tomorrow, and Friday the advanced sets. Next week again, foundations, and we'll work on cloud hands. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it.